Howdy, y'all, and welcome. Hope everybody's doing well out there so far. Let's go ahead and get into this day in weather history. Back on September 5th, 1950, we had Hurricane Easy, which made landfall over by western Florida. It caused a 24-hour record of rainfall, which is about 40 inches of rain. So that's this day in weather history as Hurricane Easy made landfall on this day. Now let's go ahead and get into the temperatures of what we could expect for this weekend, since that's what y'all came here for. Take a look at this. Gonna take a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly map. This will show us our troughs and ridges. Troughs are usually associated with the bad weather, that's in the blue, and the ridges are usually associated with the good weather and the sort of warmer weather, which is in the orange. Pushes forward, we can see this trough starting to come down from Canada. It's going to be causing a lot of waterspouts this weekend amongst the upper Great Lakes region, and it's going to be dropping those temperatures down drastically out east. Now, of course, the western part of the country is going to be coming into what could be a major heat dome for quite some time. And don't get used to these cool temperatures out east, as it's looking like the heat dome is going to start to move towards y'all. And it's looking like we're going to be on a major heat wave as we head into the meat and potatoes of September. But watch out west, though. It's looking like y'all are going to be coming in on a major cool down compared to the rest of the country, as it's looking like y'all could be dealing with some pretty chilly temperatures heading in the middle parts of the month. And of course, anything over 200 hours out is very uncertain. It's looking like we're going to be having some systems roll through, and it's looking like we could have a pretty big low pressure system setting up here in the upper Great Lakes as we head in the end of the month. Now, this won't happen. I have been seeing some models indicate there's going to be a major snowstorm up by Toronto, but I doubt that happens. Something to watch, but I doubt it happens as we head into the first day of fall, which is September 21st. So get excited, y'all, as we take a look at the temperatures of what we could expect as we head into the first day of fall. We can see as we head into the weekend, actually, we're going to be pretty warm for the next couple days, but watch as we head into Saturday morning. We're going to be pretty cold. And then Sunday morning, we could be dealing with some record-breaking temperatures as we head into Sunday morning. Amongst the eastern part of the country, as you can see, much of the eastern part of the country is going to be in the 40s, with feels-like temperatures in the below freezing territory now. That's about 20 degrees below average. So definitely unseasonably cool air is going to be in store this week, and you also definitely prepare for that. And I know there's some football games this weekend, so if there's any football games out here that are going to be played this weekend, could be showing some very chilly conditions for the football players. So make sure if you're going out there to bundle up, but don't get used to it, y'all, though, because looking like as we head into the meat and potatoes of September, it's looking like this heat will return as we head in right around the September 11th time frame. We see upper 80s to mid to lower 90s could be in store for really much of the central and eastern part of the country. And it's going to be sticking around for quite some time. And of course, I mentioned earlier that there's going to be a little bit of a low pressure system out west. Could drop those temperatures down drastically out there, but still remaining hot for much of the country. And of course, as we head into the beginning parts of fall, we can see we're going to start to cool down again. Definitely something to look forward to. And as we take a look at the 6 to 10 day Climate Prediction Center's temperature outlook, this is valid from September 10th to the 14th, the meat and potatoes of September. We can see much of the eastern half of the country from Texas up in the east coast is going to be well below average, but it looks like much of the country is going to be well above average. As we head in the next 8 to 14 days, we can see much of the country is going to be well above average, except for up here in the northwest. So again, don't get used to those cool temperatures just yet, as it's the I don't know what to wear kind of season, as I'm going to be dealing with some very cold temperatures one weekend, and then the next weekend it's going to be very hot. It's basically what we're dealing with here in the next couple of weeks. Now, speaking of those cool temperatures, what does that mean for bird migration? Well, we can see September 7th, that's when it's supposed to start to cool down. We can see the bird migration is going to be taking full effect out here amongst the eastern half of the country up into the Great Lakes. Of course, here tonight, we're expected bird migration to occur up here in the upper Midwest. Then tomorrow night, of course, they're going to start to head towards the southeast. And of course, on September 7th, like I mentioned earlier, much of the eastern part of the country, birds are going to start to move out. We take a look at the current migration map. We can see that the birds are starting to move east, southeast, y'all. As we take a look at Indiana, where I live at, we can see that 204,000 some birds have moved out last night. Peak migration using 516,000 move out. So I don't know how they get their information, but there's going to be a lot of birds moving out in the next couple of days. So if you want to check out the bird migration, check out Birdcast. Definitely pretty interesting website. Now, other than temperatures, let's take a look at our precipitation, and then we'll take a look at the tropics to see if any activity is going to be going on out there. We can see today, not much really happening today, except for some major flooding down here by Louisiana. As you can see, a moderate risk has been issued down here by Louisiana for upwards of right around 3 to 6 inches. So make sure if you see a flooded roadway, turn around, don't drown. Live in a low-lying area, please be aware of this. And we're expecting flooding to occur for the next 3 days. Next 72 hours, expect upwards of right around 6 inches of rainfall with locally higher amounts possible. So definitely be aware of this. Now back to the GFS, we can see major flooding occurring down here in the southeast as systems are going to keep rolling through the same areas over and over and over, while the upper Midwest down into the Ohio Valley is going to be pretty darn dry for the next couple of weeks. No rainfall in sight, unfortunately. Gonna be pretty soggy out here in the west northwest. Could be dealing with some snow potentially because it's gonna be so cold out there. But really remaining pretty dry amongst much of the central and eastern part of the country, and remaining pretty soggy down here in the southeast. Now, of course, the reason for that is because of this blocking pattern here. You can see we got those calm, cool temperatures in store out east here with the below average temperatures. We got some above average temperatures here, so it's going to be a battle of the seasons down here from Texas on over into South Carolina as some stationary fronts are going to keep on rolling through. As we can see, of course, the precipitation outlook for the next 6 to 10 and 8 to 14 days shows really the same story from September 10th all the way into the 18th, as below average is expected for really much of the country except for here out west and down here in the southeast. And that's not good for those drought conditions over here in the from the Ohio Valley down into the Tennessee Valley. It looks like some drought conditions are going to start to worsen. But down here, like I mentioned earlier, from Texas on over into Florida, could be dealing with some flooding down there as a slight risk has been issued for heavy precipitation from the 12th through the 18th. So definitely, we're jealous of y'all here in the Ohio Valley as we do need the rain, but please be aware of flooded roadways and turn around, don't drown if you see any of those. If you live in a flood prone area, please be aware of this. Now we're going to backtrack a little bit to the GFS to show y'all that little signal up here by the upper Great Lakes into Canada. Now, I did mention that there is going to be potentially some snow out there. Keyword there is potentially. Now, this is well over 200 hours out. It's right around 384 hours out to be exact. This is as far as the GFS goes. And this is typically what the clickbaiters will show you on social media. As we zoom in to the upper Great Lakes, you can see there's going to be some major snowfall up there as we head into right around the first day of fall. And of course, if this does happen, it's looking like there could be upwards of 10 inches of snow to close to a foot. Now, this won't happen, but if it does, I will definitely be keeping y'all updated. So make sure you go follow my X and Facebook pages and make sure you subscribe. Because here wins weather, we try to make weather forecasting fun and informative, and I'll keep you all informed on this, of course. Now, on to the tropics, see if anything has changed since the last video. We can see that there's a couple more systems, one out here by the Atlantic, by Bermuda, and one down here in the main development region. And of course, we already know about the one off of the coast of Africa, Central America, and down by Texas. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, y'all. We can see the chances of tropical development is 20% out here by Bermuda into the Atlantic, one out here by the main development region into the Caribbean. You can see 10% next 7 days. Off the coast of Africa, 20% chance. One down here by Central America is a 30%. And of course, off the coast of Texas, we can see 10% next 7 days. So nothing has really formed yet. So don't be afraid of these, y'all. Although you should be monitoring the tropics this time of year as hurricane season lasts from June all the way into the end of November. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Atlantic basin and see if any of those tropical development chances will form into anything. We already know about down here by Texas, Central America, main development region, and up here by the Atlantic. Now the one down here by Texas is a pretty low chance next 7 days. I expect it to just become a big old rainstorm and flooding event. One down here by the Atlantic into Bermuda, I would expect that to move up into Nova Scotia and just become a big old rainstorm up there. And if these do form down here in the main development region, I just expect those to mainly recurve and not impact the lower 48 any, or really anybody to be exact. So that's some good news, at least for the next 7 days. And of course, forgot to mention Central America. I don't expect anything to form down there either, although it's a pretty good chance the next 7 days. I would again just expect that to become a pretty big rainstorm down there. But of course, regardless of where you are amongst the East Coast, or if you live out anywhere down here, make sure you keep an eye on the tropics. Now, I know I'm jumping around a lot, but I did forget to mention that there is nothing going on in the Central Pacific or the Eastern Pacific, so that is some good news, y'all. So I hope y'all enjoyed today's weather forecast. If you did, make sure you hit that like and share button so more folks are informed about the weather. Leaving some feedback in the comment section down below. As feedback helps provide you the viewer better and more informative content in the future. And also subscribe with bell notifications turned on, because at Here on Williams Weather, we try to make weather forecasting fun and informative. And if you have any sort of pictures you want to send my way of fall foliage or any sort of weather pictures, make sure you send it over to my X and Facebook pages, as I do daily weather forecasts on there. So follow those pages as well. Basically, sum up the next couple weeks. Basically, it's going to be getting cool out east with some water spots possible this weekend. Could be some record-breaking temperatures, but don't get used to the cool air just yet, y'all, because I don't know what to wear kind of season is back, and it's looking like this heat dome is going to start to move east as we head into the meat and potatoes of September, which could mean some dry conditions out east and some very soggy conditions out there in the southeast. Now, as far as tropics go, not much in the way of any tropical storm activity in the next 7 days at least, so that's some good news. But you should still monitor the tropics just in case anything forms, and I will keep you informed, of course, on X and Facebook, so go follow those pages if you haven't done so already. So, again, appreciate all y'all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, enjoy your weekend and never stop forecasting.